So the new Luminescent Caverns update came out in Roblox Fisch, and with that brought 7 brand new rods. And a lot of people are probably wondering, myself included, which one of these rods is actually the best, and are any of these rods actually worth the money? So I'm going to be testing and ranking each one of them. So here's my game plan. I'm going to be testing each of these rods for 10 minutes, specifically in the Crimson Cavern area, because it fits the theme of the video. This isn't the best location to earn money, so keep that in mind. However, since I'm using each rod in the same exact location, it doesn't really matter. And then after that 10 minutes is up, I'm going to sell my inventory. We're going to see how much money we get from that rod, and we're going to be doing that with all 6 different rods. And then afterwards, we're going to rank each one in terms of least money to most money. The order we're going to be doing these rods also is going to be in order from the least expensive rod to the most expensive, in hopes that the most expensive is going to be the best. So stick around to the end to find out. Quick shout out to today's sponsor, AliExpress. If you don't already know, AliExpress is one of the biggest online marketplaces where you can find pretty much anything from tech and gaming gear to everyday essentials, usually at a way lower price than you'll see anywhere else. Like this Fine K688 microphone, for example, which I actually did a review on my channel already. Or even my personal favorite, this keyboard I use in my everyday setup since I've gotten it, the Aula F75. It's a 75% keyboard with 3 different connection modes, multiple different colorways, and a few switches to choose from. I mean, just listen to how good this thing sounds. It not only sounds great, but it feels great. The awesome part is I've been provided with some discount codes, so if you want to pick any of these items up, you can do so using my affiliate link, which is going to be linked in the description down below. Or alternatively, you can also use my promo codes, which are on screen now, or you can also find those down in the description. Once again, thank you so much to AliExpress. Let's get back to the video. All right, starting off with the evil pitchfork coming in at $0. This is a secret rod of this update, and you actually find it by doing a couple of different quests, and then you can craft it in the ancient archives with the item you receive from the quest. I have a full guide on this if you want to know how to get it. Here are the rod's stats. It has 150% lure speed, 120% luck. It does have minus 0.1% control and also minus 10 resilience and an infinite kg. However, the passive is a 50% chance to gain 500% of caught fish base value, 30% to lose the same amount, 25% chance for 100 to 200% weight buff. And it gives it the Siren Spite if it gives it that weight buff, which is a 10x cell multiplier. It also has a 20% chance for the evil mutation, which is a 15x cell multiplier, and it has stabs that fill up 6% progress as well as plus 25% progress speed. So basically you have a high chance of getting giant items from this, which increases the value very much. So after 10 minutes of fishing with this rod, I sold and I got $328,000 from this, which is honestly way more than I expected for a basically free rod. Next up, we have the Scarlet Spin Caster, which comes in at $200,000. This rod is obtained in the Crimson Cavern area. It's on top of a tree. It's actually kind of hidden. Here's the stats of this rod. It has a 50% lure speed, 170% luck, minus 0.2 control, 150% resilience, and a max kg of infinite. And the passive on this rod is a 30% chance for the Crimson mutation, which is a 6x cell multiplier. It would have been way more useful if this rod was in the luminescent area. That way you could use it to get the blue colossal dragon. But yeah, the stats aren't great on this rod. However, it is pretty cheap. And after 10 minutes of fishing with this rod, we got $95,000. So honestly, not the best rod ever, but it's not bad for 200k. Next up, we have the Boom Ball, which is another secret rod. You obtain this by essentially dying 25 times to the mines under the water, and you get teleported to a location where you can purchase it for $1 million. So here are the stats on this rod: a 0% lure speed, 0% luck, 0.5 control, minus 500 resilience, and an infinite max kg. And the passive on this rod is you get a 50% chance for exploded, which is a 0.1x cell multiplier. So you actually lose value if the fish explodes. However, if it does explode, you get a plus 100% progress speed, but it's not very useful if it's going to be worth absolutely nothing. However, the control bar can be max size if you use the Circuline enchant, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, after 10 minutes I sold and we got $1,037. So yeah. Next up is going to be the Luminescent Oath. You actually get this inside of the Luminescent Cavern area for 1.5 million. However, it is a requirement to complete the bestiary in that area to be able to buy it. Here are the stats on the rod: an 85% lure speed, 100% luck, 0.18 control, and a 10% resilience with a max kg of 25,000. The passive is a 5% chance for slashes that fill up 2% progress every 0.25 seconds. Chances for slashes increase by 10% every second. You also have a 15% chance for the Luminescent mutation, which is a 9x 9x cell multiplier, and a percentage chance to fill up almost half of the progress bar instantly. And during a perfect catch, the control bar gradually decreases in size. However, the progress speed gradually increases by 3.3% every second, a 100% chance for mastered if you get a perfect catch, which is a 16x cell multiplier. So 10 minutes later, I sold my inventory for $123,284. So honestly, not that bad. Next up, we have the Wicked Fang rod. This is actually obtained in the Crimson Cavern area. It's on top of a rock. However, you can only buy it when a solar eclipse is going on, and it's going to cost you 3.7 million. Here are the stats on the rod: a 95% lure speed, 140% luck, 0 control, 15% resilience, and a max infinite kg. The passive is that it has stabs that fill up a percentage of the progress, and it also has a plus 20% progress speed. So not the most passives compared to the other rods, especially for being 3.7 million. I think that is definitely overpriced, especially considering after 10 minutes of fishing, we only got $48,038 out of it. Next up, we have the circuline fang rod, which you can obtain this in Luminescent Cavern during a Starfall totem. This rod comes in at $5 million. Here are the stats on this rod. It's a 75% lure speed, 190% luck, 0.25 control, a resilience of 35%, and an infinite max kg. This rod also doesn't have too much passives. It has the stabs that fill up a percentage, and also a plus 15% progress speed. And after 10 minutes of fishing with this rod, we sold for $40,519, which, if you couldn't tell, is very bad for a $5 million rod. So for the final rod of the update, we have the Ruinous Oath. This rod comes in at $30 million, and to be able to buy this rod, it's in the Crimson Cavern. However, you have to get the Sparkle Shining Bestiary complete for this area, which appraising does work, so it's not the hardest thing ever. The stats on this rod are pretty insane: a 95% lure speed, 500% luck, 0.08 control, 25% resilience, and a max infinite kg. Has a ton of passives as well: a 5% chance for slashes that fill up 2% progress every 0.25 seconds. Chances for slash increase by 8% every second. 25% chance for luminescent, which once again is a 9x cell multiplier, and a percentage chance to fill up almost the entire progress bar instantly. And then during a perfect catch, the control bar gradually decreases in size. However, the progress speed gradually increases by 5% every second, which gives you a 100% chance for the master mutation, which is the 16x cell multiplier. So very similar to the Luminescent Oath. It's basically almost the same, but the stats are way better on this rod. So after 30 minutes of fishing with this rod, I sold for $178,336, which is honestly a little less than I expected from this. However, obviously there could be some RNG involved with this. I didn't get an average for these. So obviously these numbers aren't going to be 100% accurate. Keep that in mind. But I feel like it is a good baseline test to rank these rods on. So that now gives us our final ranking on least to greatest, which is going to go the Boom Ball, the Wicked Fang, the Circuline Fang, the Scarlet Spincaster, Luminescent Oath, Ruinous Oath, and then finally the most earning rod this update, the Evil Pitchfork. So this rod did earn the most. However, my personal favorite rod this update, if I had to choose, I would say the Ruinous Oath, just because it is a super fun rod to use. You get rewarded for perfect catches. The rod goes smaller, so it feels kind of more interactive. And also the master mutation just looks pretty cool. You guys can let me know what your favorite rod is in the comment section down below. Anyways, if you're new around here, make sure to drop a sub with notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next one.